She walked into our world like a whisper, eyes full of storms, hands trembling with potential. We saw the pain first, the heartbreak, the silent scars left behind by war and loss. And because we saw the wound, we ignored the weapon. We gave her our sympathy, our forgiveness, our blind trust. Every step she took was lined with sorrow, but also with silence. A silence that hid a rising hunger, a yearning to twist fate into something softer, something she could cradle. And when the world didn't bend, she broke it instead. Not with rage, not with fire, but with the quiet cruelty of someone who believes they deserve more. They called her gifted, broken, chosen. They called her the Scarlet Witch, but we never called her dangerous until it was too late. She reshaped lives like puzzle pieces, rearranged memories like furniture, and while we wept with her, she stole the very voices of those trapped beneath her spell. She wasn't a villain in shadows. She was a goddess in daylight. Her hands shaped new realities, while her heart mourned a false one. She didn't lose control. She chose it. Wrapped her intentions in grief, and let the world mistake them for kindness. And we did, over and over again. The truth was never buried. It was whispered in every spell, hidden in every gaze, blooming in every dream that wasn't hers to live. Wanda wasn't corrupted by power. She was revealed by it. Her story was never about saving the world. It was about bending it until it broke. She looked at the universe and didn't ask for permission. She reached into its core and pulled out the pieces she wanted, and left the rest to burn. In this video, we'll tear through the illusions. We'll follow Wanda's path from grieving hero to unrepentant force. We'll examine how the signs were always there, how we ignored them, and what that says about the myths we build around the ones we choose to believe. We'll break down the moments we cheered when we should have questioned, and uncover why Wanda was never falling. She was rising into the villain we refused to see. From the moment Wanda stepped onto the battlefield, we saw her as a force. A mystery wrapped in sorrow, gifted with power, yet burdened by grief. In Age of Ultron, she began as an enemy, a product of war and manipulation, yet we forgave her too quickly. She turned against Ultron, joined the Avengers, and the world embraced her as a hero reborn. But beneath the surface, something ancient and volatile was already forming. Her powers were never just magic, they were chaos itself, an unstable current flowing through someone who had never known peace. We watched her create illusions, shatter minds, and yet we called it redemption. We saw a lost girl in a red coat and mistook her silence for innocence. But every step forward was a quiet escalation, every act of kindness built on control. When Lagos happened, we mourned with her, not realizing she was learning how fear gave her leverage. Her guilt became a tool, not just a burden. She was no longer reacting to tragedy. She was adapting, becoming. Each time we thought she had grown, she had only shifted. Her morality was fluid, not fixed, and we were too eager to believe she was one of the good ones. But behind her eyes, a storm was gathering, and no one noticed the sky turning red until it was too late. Wanda didn't fall from grace. She rose while hidden in shadow, and we never stopped to ask who she really was beneath the grief. Wanda's pain was real. That cannot be denied. She lost her family, her brother, and the one man who gave her hope. But grief is not a shield. It is not a license to bend the world until it fits your story. And Wanda did not grieve like the rest of us. She remade reality. In Westview, she didn't just mourn, she erased. She rewrote the lives of an entire town, replaced their families, rewired their thoughts, and told herself it was love. She walked through their pain and saw only her reflection. She claimed to suffer, but the screams of those trapped beneath her spell never touched her. We called her a mother, a widow, a broken heart searching for solace. But she was a god among mortals, deciding who gets to feel and who must forget. Her grief became prophecy, and those who stood in her way became villains in her eyes. She told herself they would never remember, that the pain she caused would vanish like dust. But trauma leaves echoes, and Wanda's echoes became permanent scars, etched into hundreds of innocent lives. We keep calling her the Scarlet Witch like it's a badge of honor. Like the name doesn't carry centuries of destruction, chaos, and fear, but Wanda wore it proudly. She didn't flinch when told she was destined to destroy the world. She embraced it. She was warned. Told of the book, the darkness, the cost. Yet she opened it anyway, not for justice, not to right a wrong, but to chase a dream that was never hers to claim. A dream where her children never questioned her, where the universe bowed to her version of love. She hunted, through dimensions, through time, through lives that had never touched her. She burned defenders, twisted minds, shattered sanctums, and she called it a mother's love. But it wasn't love. It was obsession cloaked in tenderness. Doctor Strange broke the multiverse to save a kid. Wanda shattered it to kidnap one. And we still argued who was worse. as if intention erases the wreckage. As if the fire didn't start in her hands and spread to every corner of existence. Wanda wasn't corrupted. She was unleashed. And it was not the Darkhold that made her cruel. It only revealed what was always there, waiting in silence. From the very beginning, Wanda's powers didn't follow the rules. She didn't just bend energy. She bent meaning itself. She created life, altered memories, touched minds, without lifting a hand. She didn't need spells. She was one. She could have rebuilt the Avengers from ruins. She could have restored worlds with a whisper. But instead, she chose silence. Secrets, seclusion, because what she craved wasn't harmony. It was control without consequence. Her power was never about defense. It was about rewriting the script. And when the multiverse opened, she didn't hesitate. She tore through it like paper, through realities, through people, through fate itself, all to return to a lie she wrote with her own grief. No one else in the MCU has held that kind of power and still walked among humans like a savior. No one else carried the capacity to break existence and still claimed to be misunderstood. But Wanda did, and we let her, because her strength was beautiful, her magic mesmerizing. And we were so enchanted by the glow that we never noticed the flames beneath her feet. In the end, Wanda stood alone, not because she was abandoned, but because she made herself untouchable. The people who loved her feared her. The ones she saved trembled when she passed. And yet she never stopped believing she was the hero of her own myth. When the temple collapsed, when the sky fell in on itself, we were meant to believe she found redemption, that in a final act of sacrifice, she destroyed the darkness. But silence does not equal peace, and falling does not erase what came before. She left behind a multiverse in ruins, a world still haunted by her echo, and children across dimensions who now fear the name Wanda Maximoff. Her story was not one of salvation. It was one of descent, a slow, graceful fall, masked by music and sorrow. We grieve her like a martyr, speak of her like a fallen angel. But angels do not walk through fire laughing. Angels do not crush strangers for dreams they were never meant to live. Wanda's tale is not about a woman losing herself. It's about a woman who finally saw what she could be, and chose to become it. We were wrong about Wanda, all of us. We thought her pain was purity, that her silence was strength, that her love made her human. But it was her power that defined her. And power without limits, without checks, without honesty, always leads to destruction. She was not a hero who fell from grace. She was a storm wearing a smile, a spell disguised as sorrow. Her kindness was conditional. Her love was possessive. Her legacy is not one of light, but of consequence. And still, there is something deeply human in her journey. A mirror we all fear to face. Because Wanda did what we all dream of. She tried to make the world match her grief. She tried to rewrite her story, no matter the cost. And in doing so, she became everything she once fought against. Maybe that's why her story matters so much. Not because she was right, but because she was real, flawed, dangerous, aching, and unafraid to break the world in the name of something she could never truly hold. This was never a redemption arc. It was a reckoning. And maybe, just maybe, the villain was never hiding. She was standing in plain sight, wrapped in red, waiting for us to finally see her.